Welcome to the Group Home Riches Podcast. If you have the desire to be your own boss, create your own schedule, and become financially free while at the same time helping people in need, then you've come to the right place. At GroupHomeRiches.com, we teach people exactly like yourself how to get started in the group home business. And on this podcast, you're going to hear their stories firsthand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Group Home Riches Podcast. Today's guest is on the final leg of the coaching program. I'm excited to see kind of how she got started, how she basically completed the program, quote unquote, which means get her first home rocking and rolling. So Stefanie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. But yeah, my name is Stefanie, and I got my first home just a few months ago, actually. And I did use the coaching program to start off.
Perfect. Before we get into the details and any questions that you have for us, why don't you just let the people know, what were you doing? What were you doing before you got into this business? And then what made you want to get into it?
A few things. I was working as a housing coordinator and case manager for people that were unhoused, and I was helping them look for housing. I already had the idea of wanting to do this before I started that job, but that job was definitely helpful in helping me start building connections, resources, and getting an idea of the population that needs that assistance. That was one of the reasons. I'm very passionate about like the mental health, social work field as well. And it was something that I really wanted to do. I also had some personal experience with like I myself, and I'm in recovery. And due to certain things that had happened in my past, I wasn't able to go to school for my doctorates, which was my plan. I had to wait for a bit. So in the meantime, I was trying to figure out like what else could I do career-wise, and that's how this all happened.
About how long ago was that when the idea sparked, when you're like, oh, I want to start looking into this?
The idea has it had been quite a while. That had been a few years, but it wasn't until this February, the end of February, beginning of March, that I decided that I was gonna go like full mode on it and like really put all my energy into doing it.
How long would you say you were interested in it, knew about it, curious about it?
First, I became a little interested in typically how everybody does in just real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Probably for about a year, just kind of getting an idea of like the different avenues that one can go. Then after that, I realized that I thought I wanted to go to the group home route. And I honestly, probably 2 or 3 years that I waited. And then I decided to move on.
Okay, perfect. Did you get into real estate? Did you do any deals or try to, dabble or anything like that?
No, I got my first home, and then that was about it. I was planning on doing Section 8 with it, but I'm currently still in that home. It's something that I may do in the future once I do move, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, not a lot of people see it as a real estate strategy, but it is. So, I mean, you got your first cash flowing home, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, we could get into that later too, especially if that's something that you're going to want to do to scale. So, so you were, you were interested in it. You were also working in the case management field.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of got to see it from the inside out, and you said you actually worked in housing.
Yes, I helped people look for housing, and we had a program where we assisted them to look for the housing. financially assist them as well, and then provide case management with them while they were housed with us.
So you were probably working with like quote unquote group homeowners or real estate investors trying to place your clients into those homes.
Yes, the area that I was working in was a lot more rural, so there was not a lot of resources. It was a lot of more like private landlords, but it did help me a lot in getting an idea of what the population does need.
Yeah, I would bet you got to see you kind of got to see how the sausage was made, even though you weren't running your homes. You kind of understood the need for it.
Yeah.
You were what we call referral sources, right?
Yes, I
Are
was.
you
Yeah.
familiar with the beginner's guide? So for beginners out there, we basically teach you how to find, in in some cities it's like hundreds if not thousands of people like Stefanie that are working with people that do need housing. So uh from that side, how many investors or group home owners actually reached out to you first? Hey, Stefanie, I want to work with you and learn more about your programs, yada yada.
Oh, you mean when in my W-2 job?
Yeah, when you were working as the housing coordinator.
Not a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially in the rural areas that I was working in. I was working in very small counties. It was very stigmatized. It was very difficult, very limited resources.
So when someone did contact you, you got an email or a voicemail or something like that, what were your thoughts when you got somebody with housing that
It
reached
was,
out to you?
yeah, it was great. The few times that we did, and my organization as a whole did have a few landlords and people that did reach out, and I mean, we definitely used them. It was extremely helpful.
Yeah. So this is what we're trying to we try to get across to the folks. It is, there is like a lot of work and back end stuff to find and be able to, weave through an organization and actually get Stefanie on a call, an introduction and what have you. But yeah, typically you guys are not meeting with like people from Shark Tank. It's not a high pressure pitch or anything like that. You're meeting with a friendly, smiling face like Stefanie that wants to help people. And most of the time, when you do get in touch with them, you're making their day. The people are like Stefanie was, is very happy to speak with you.
Yeah, for
Would you
sure.
would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, cool. So are you still working in that industry or
No, I actually switched jobs. I'm working at a prison right now, and I'm doing addiction recovery services.
okay. So still,
Mhm.
somewhat related. So
Yeah.
you were able to kind of get through the gold course, the coaching program, actually take action. You were able to do that while having a full-time job, right?
Yes. Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you adjust the hours or flexibility or anything like that so you could focus on the group home stuff or
Yes, I did. In the beginning, when I was working as the case manager, um, my my schedule was very flexible, and I had a lot of time where I was able to start the business. So it was very helpful in the beginning because I did have that downtime. Eventually, down the line, it did become a lot more difficult. Um, I had a coworker quit, and that caused his caseload to go on to me. And it was right at the point where I had just gotten the house. So I had to do a lot of flexing my hours and doing certain times during the day, like 9 to 5, doing W-2 things that I could only do during those business hours, but then switching to marketing because I have to do that between 9 to 5. So switching between those, and then after 5, switching to W-2 stuff and business stuff that I could do that didn't require business hours.
yeah. Well, you made it work. So that's just a
Yes.
testament to people out there. We do recommend you have a little, you need to have at least a couple hours during the week. Yeah, I don't know how long. what would you say you estimated spending on the group home stuff to get rocking and rolling, like per week on average?
Um, oh, I don't know. In the beginning, it was a lot. It was a lot easier. Like setting up the website, getting my marketing list ready, things like that. Once I had the house, it was definitely a lot more hands-on and required a lot more time.
Yeah. Were you able to, you made that work with the job? Was it just job flexibility, or did you just not sleep that much?
It was both. A lot of
Okay.
flexibility on my part, but there was definitely times where I mean I was working from the morning until night, switching between both roles.
Okay. What's it like now that you have the first home and like is the first home stabilized? Do you have a full house or close to it?
Yes, I do have a full house, and it is a lot more stable. It is there. It's a lot of less work, and less driving as well, because the home it's about an hour away from where I live. So there was a lot of commuting when I was getting the house set up and then doing tours for organizations. That has definitely died down a lot.
Remind the people in me where you're operating in. Like where's the house?
The house is located in Indianapolis.
And do you live kind of in a more rural area?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, so you saw how it's possible in the rural areas, but yeah, we take we recommend to people, most people live within driving distance of a city.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
and you were working with Eric as your coach, correct?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so same thing. He lives about an hour away from where he operates. So totally doable, guys, even if you do have a full-time job. So that's awesome.
Yep.
All right, so let's rewind a little bit. I do want to kind of get into the details of the property and stuff like that, but you started, it was something you were interested in, interested in real estate. You knew about group homes for a couple years, and then I guess at the beginning of this year, so like around 8 months, no, 10 months ago,
Yes.
is when you are like, all right, I'm gonna take action. What did those actions look like?
It was starting my marketing list, getting the website set up, starting my LLC, all of the little things that were required to start it up. My like bank accounts for the business, things like that. But a lot of it, like the marketing.
Yeah, definitely. And had you kind of gone through the gold course and our content before that?
Yes, I had. Yeah.
Okay. When you were first going through the content, like the educational stuff, were there any questions or like what questions were you looking for that were kind of holding you back from starting?
Um, a lot of it, well, because in the beginning, I was not planning to do the Indianapolis area. I was going to do a smaller area, still big, but smaller. Um, but I was very hesitant just because like occupancy and zoning laws. Even though that I know that, we can still help people and have those group homes, but I was just very hesitant at the time. And I personally, for me, I feel like moving to a bigger area was very helpful because I didn't feel like those questions were going to come up a lot by others just because it's a larger area and it's in really big need.
Yeah, it's just higher demand, right? Pretty
Mhm.
simple. It's simple math.
Mhm.
So you had did you have the gold course for a while?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And so guys listening or well watching, I have that on screen, which is what we recommend everybody at least start with, like just bare minimum for the
Mhm.
educational stuff, but then it'll have guides, showing you how to literally step by step. So uh then you started with the one-on-one coaching. What made you want to do that?
Because I wasn't taking any action with the gold course.
Okay.
I felt like I needed to do something more, to have the coaching, to really get me going and have some type of accountability and get started. Just because I was continuing to be just very self-doubtful about starting my own business. That was the main reason, because the goals course is enough to be able to help you. It has plenty of information and a lot of guidance, but I really wanted the coaching for that accountability.
Yeah. All right. So before the coaching, did you find yourself pretending business, like playing business, like focusing on maybe spending too much time on websites and business cards and reading through the gold course and
Mhm.
literally not getting out there and doing the
In
action
the
steps
big,
that we tell you.
yes, in the beginning, I would say that what I did was reading through it, even though I know you guys suggest to not just read through it, to like
Yeah.
take action, but I read through it and I was like, I just need something more.
Yeah. Hey, it's a common problem, which is why
Mhm,
we, you know, it's common, which is why we even have the one-on-one coaching program. And
mhm.
we tell pretty straight up on here, look, this is pretty much what you're paying for here. Obviously
Yeah,
you get to work with people like Sonny and Eric and reach out to them anytime. But
yeah,
we literally make you get out there and do stuff. So
yeah.
you when you started, did you have the property first or did you wait to get it?
I didn't have the property first when I did the one-on-one. I worked with Eric. Working with him was great. He did, help me like have a list of things that I needed to start working on.
Hmm.
And throughout that time, I did come across a property.
Do you see why we recommend, like you see right here, step one doesn't mention anything about the property, right?
Yeah.
Do you see why we go in that kind of order for most people?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think it's very important to have, things set up, especially once you do your marketing, just having your business plan, things like that set up. And I think it definitely better prepares you for once you do have the property.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Um, so yeah, let's go through that. So the first act, like the action steps, you say marketing. Break us down. What was that like?
As my marketing, I got a marketing list put together. I reached out to some places. My mistake was though that I reached out to some bigger organizations, some shelters, um, and I kind of stopped there because when I got the property, I was on a deadline of having a certain amount of occupants in the home to keep the home. Um, I did some marketing. I got some people that were interested, but I didn't have enough, and that caused some problems down the line. So in the beginning, I should have done a lot more than what I did.
So I would say what we do with like when we're working on the Done With You program for people and what the coaches do, what Andy does, there's a lot more than just having that initial introduction call. You have to, quote unquote, close the deal. You have to
Yes.
usually a couple follow-up meetings. They're probably going to want to meet you in person. You need to go over the details, the contracts, etc. So
Yep.
that could take, that with some organizations that could take a month or two just due to bureaucracy.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
can.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but this is just we wish it could be as easy as just reaching out, working with someone like Stefanie, and she says, yes, you know, I'll send you people.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what you're doing, but the nuances there do take some time. So So you went through the program, you got your marketing. How many meetings did you have? How many connections did you have before you felt confident to go get that property?
I ended up getting the property around the same time that I was doing the marketing,
Okay.
um, which caused the like deadline pressure.
Yes.
Because when I found the property, it was through a work connection actually. Somebody had mentioned to me that they knew a landlord that had a property that they wanted to use for a group home,
Really?
while I was doing the marketing.
Wow.
And that moved along very quickly. Um, so yeah, it was a mixture of both. But I did have some organizations that were willing to work with me. Um, However, some of them did fall through, which was just a bump in the road, as I was continuing to look for other partnerships. But I mean, eventually I was able to find the right ones that have been really good referral sources.
Okay. Talk about those. What are the organizations like? What are the demographics like?
One of them is, most of them are mental health related. There's a very big one in the Indianapolis area that does a lot of like wraparound services, mental health, physical health. Um, I was able to connect with quite a few people from those organizations that have specific departments for housing for those clients that they work with. Um, and that is how I was able to get in touch with them, and they've been great to work with. And some of them have also been able to provide that financial support, especially for moving costs, such as the first month of rent and in the deposit. And the ones that do not have been able to, some of them have been able to refer out to those organizations that can assist them.
Okay. And then a lot of the people are on SSI, SSDI. Do you get set up for payments through that ever?
No, I do not have that set up. I do have a lot of people that are on it, but I don't have that set up.
Okay. There we go. That's do you understand the process for that?
Yes, I did learn about it. So far, everything has been going okay. Honestly, a lot of the people that I have on the disability, they're like the first ones to pay. Um, so I have not had any issues with those residents.
Okay. Something to think about. So
Mhm.
especially when you have, multiple properties, multiple people that you're managing all the payments. A
Yeah.
lot of the organizations that you're talking to probably offer rep payee service.
Yeah.
So, obviously you're familiar with the licensee agreement.
Yes.
For the
Yes, I am.
folks out there listening, watching, it's included in the gold course. We have a template. It's a contract for your they're not technically residents. We call them licensees, but this is what they sign. And that's one of the sections in there. The legal language is basically saying, that we require you to go through an approved rep payee.
Hmm. Yes, I do recall reading that.
It's one of the tough conversations to have with people, but
Yeah.
uh, it is what it is, you know. So, all right, there's not necessarily a hole. It could be though, so just something to think about.
Yeah, I will.
So the the property, just through kind of personal networking, you found an investor with a home that wanted to work with people like you.
Yes. Yes. The home it's a 9 bedroom, 5 bathroom home.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And two of the bedrooms are large enough for them to be shared bedrooms. So in total, I have 11 beds in the home.
Nice. How
Yes.
did how did this investor learn about the business?
Um, It was actually it's a landlord that we worked with through my W-2 job at the time. And the home that they had has been used previously as a group home, some type of transitional home. So the owner wanted to use it as something similar to that. So at that time, um, I did already have like my business plan prepared, my website. I had my marketing flyers prepared. I had all of that. So I was able to provide that to them, show them what my plan was, show them that I was prepared. And that's how we were able to make it work.
Perfect. That was my next question. He probably didn't just send you the lease, right? He wanted to see, is this does she know about the business? Does she have a plan? Does she have the connections? Because as
Yes,
the investor, I'm guessing this guy just didn't want any, he doesn't want any part of the day-to-day activities. He just
right.
knew about the business, somehow understands the ins and outs, the legalities, and realized he had a perfect home for it.
Yes. Yep.
All right, awesome. So if we again, another section in the gold course, this is the number one step that we recommend to people, and most people just skip past it. But most people just want to hop on Zillow, look for properties that they like. They end up speaking to a whole bunch of property managers and real estate agents that have no idea what they talk about. So
Yeah.
we recommend just think of your personal network, whether it be personal or professional, like in Stefanie's case. Does anybody know investors? If you don't know one off the top of your head, somebody probably knows somebody. So had you kind of interacted with that investor before previously, or was through?
Yes, I actually had. I was not aware that they had another property elsewhere. It was actually through my coworker. She knew about it, so she told me, and then I realized that I was the same landlord that I worked with for in my area as well.
Yeah. So, we have scripts and pitches and things like that and methods to do it, but oftentimes it's, you know, just let people know what you're doing. Let friends, family, coworkers know what they're doing. Almost everybody knows somebody that invests in real estate. Most landlords have gone through the struggles of being a landlord. And yeah, this business model, if it's somebody like Stefanie who actually does the work, has the connections, understands the basics, you can be a massive value to the landlord. So some people like this investor actually are looking for operators like that. And we have a section here in the school group. Stefanie, are you in the school group?
I am not.
We got to get you in there.
Yes, I do.
But
I do need to get that.
but yeah, you'll see people in here are posting, looking for people like you guys. So this guy
Mhm.
was
Oh,
just doing that through his personal network. So awesome.
yes.
And it sounds like the perfect home for it. He was right. As he said, it was a 9 bedroom.
Yes, it is a very large 9 bedroom home.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it's very large. It also just comes with like really great amenities. It has a rolling gate. It has like a private parking area. It has like a patio area as well, washer, dryer. The owner put in keypad, like code access to the bedrooms. That's been very helpful as well. That was something that people really liked when they did the tours, was to see that extra security in the bedrooms as well.
Yeah. So it was already, set up as
Yes.
as a group home. So any like additional security stuff that you guys do, like cameras or anything like that?
Yes, I do have the cameras in all the common areas. Um, so I do have that in the outside areas as well.
Okay, perfect. And is that at Is it at full occupancy now?
Yes, it is. Yep, all 11 beds are full.
Awesome. Unreal. Um, we don't have to get into specifics, but you've looked into real estate investing. Do you know what most quote unquote landlords are aiming to make on a rental property?
It's not very much, around like the 200, maybe 300, if good.
So if there's any real estate investors watching, that giggle is very telling because for most people, 200 or 300 bucks does not sound like a lot, especially when you realize the work that needs to go into it. You have
Yeah.
to learn how to find off-market properties. You need to learn how to do rehabs. You need to be working with construction crews. You need to have the capital set aside to do all of that, right?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
to me, it's totally overwhelming. And at the end of the day, your goal, best case scenario, sometimes like that's what they're aiming for. Best case, 200 or 300 bucks a month. So
Yeah.
yeah, our investors out there, the operators that are going through the gold course, um, yeah, it's laughable. So, you know, we don't need to offend anybody, but yeah, I don't see how anybody who's looking for a cash flowing business would ever get into that business. So, anyways, just I thought it was funny that you laughed, but yeah, I understand. So, I'm guessing you're cash flowing a little bit more than that.
Yes, I am cash flowing a little bit over 2,500.
And that's with the agreement with the investor. So it
Mhm.
just in general, again, you don't have to do like an exact number breakdown, but is it a partnership with him? Are you essentially paying him a lease?
It is a lease, so I'm leasing the property and I'm subleasing it to everyone else.
Yeah, and he's probably getting probably a little bit above market rent for comparable properties in the area.
Yeah.
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 So it's a win-win. I'm guessing after he pays his mortgage or financing costs, he's cash flowing probably much more than 200 bucks a month. Would you say that's right?
Yes, probably yes.
Yeah. So the way these homes are broken down, the way it's just simple math, instead of having one family in this massive property paying market rent, we have a whole
Mhm.
bunch of people in need of affordable housing. Um,
Mhm.
you said you have a mixture of shared rooms and private rooms.
Yes, I have two of the larger rooms, those are shared, so they have two twin beds. And then the rest of the bedrooms are private bedrooms.
Are they paying kind of like the what we typically say in the podcast? We seem that it seems to kind of even out across most markets. So shared is maybe somewhere between 600 and 700 bucks a bed.
No, for the shared, they're 450.
Okay, nice. So it's very, very affordable. What
Yeah.
are the private rooms?
The private rooms, I have two small ones, those are 600, and then the average size, those are 725.
Okay. And
Mhm.
yeah, so it might be a little bit different in the Midwest, but it sounds like it helps since you guys have so much space and bedrooms that you can it's probably a little bit even more affordable. Have you done market research to see what other, you know, like sober living is a good one to find. Like you could usually find some sober living properties in your area. Have you done market research on that?
Y- Yes. In the beginning, when I first started marketing, I did have the rooms at a higher price. Um, but it was a little bit more difficult to get people in. It seemed more challenging. So I had to tweak those quite a bit to get a number that I felt was going to be good. Um, And I would say that in the marketing area, the areas that I'm around, they are pretty similar. There are some bedrooms that are a bit more, um, but I would say mine are pretty average. I wouldn't say they're low or they're high.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, is the neighborhood, is it one of the more affordable areas?
It is in the downtown area. Um, it's kind of a mixture.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Is that a typical property for that neighborhood?
No, there's mostly single family homes.
Hmm.
I don't know if there are um, any homes like that one in the area. I've mostly seen single family homes. Um, but yeah, I would say that that was probably that was I would say one of the challenges in the beginning was trying to figure out a good price along with the security deposit. Um, I know that it's suggested to do the same amount as the rooms. Um, I tried that and I felt like that was too difficult at times for certain people.
Yes.
So I lowered that as well to make it more of a because I think regardless, the security deposit and the first month of rent accumulates to a lot for people for move-in costs. So I wanted to try to make it as affordable as I could, but still keep a security deposit and be able to work with them.
I'll tell you off record how it typically has played out for Andy.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, that can be a challenge.
Yeah. Right now, the security deposits are half of the rent. So, I mean, they still have it. It's just half of it. It's not the same amount as the first month of rent.
And a lot of times, eventually you run into organizations that just, hey, we have X amount for deposits, and it's almost like they talk themselves out of a lot of money. So
Yeah.
sometimes that helps the books, if you will.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's amazing. I didn't know the home was that big. Uh, Cash flowing. It's probably on paper, it's probably close to a partnership with the investor, you know? Like if you look
Yes.
at the market rents, would you, if that house were listed for rent, do you think you're paying maybe a couple of $100 more than what the market rent would be?
Um, I don't know.
Okay, it's fine.
I'm not sure if it would be.
Was there a lot of negotiation on price with the investor or
Yes, there was. We did lower it to what he had, and we did lower it. And then the other thing that we agreed on, because it was my first property, he wanted for the first month he wanted proof of the people that I housed for the rent amount to equal my rent amount to show proof of that. And that was the kind of deadline that I was in a bit of like I was having some pressure on it because it was about I had 2 months in total. But that was one of the agreements was to prove that, and then after that, I didn't have to show any more proof of the residence
it's smart on his side, right?
individuals.
When you're going to rent a house, people want to see proof of income, right? So if you guys can explain this business model to investors, get them, understanding it, pumped about it, like this investor was already, right? He was going to look for an operator. He knew that
Mhm.
knew the drill, he knew the legalities of it, etc. But even then, he wanted to see that Stefanie had, solid contracts, referral sources, because he doesn't want you to go out of business and then have an empty property again. So very cool. Uh, let's talk. Let's talk. Well, all right. Before we talk future, did you have any questions for me or Andy, who looks like I apologize, but he
It's
had
okay.
one come up. Um, I would bet money that it's probably regarding one of his rental properties. That's usually how these things work out. But
Yeah.
anyways, did you have any questions for us?
I did actually have a question, um, just because it's something that has come up recently. When it comes to the common areas, or restrooms, and if there's damages, um, how would you go about that if there's so many people living in the home using those common things?
Oh
Is there
man,
a procedure for
that's a
that?
that's a great question. I don't even think that's come up, but I could see how it happens. I would bet you Andy just eats the cost if he can't figure it out. That's why you
Right.
do want to have like has anybody emerged as a house supervisor type of person?
Yes, I do have somebody that could possibly fit that role. I was asking because I mean, I know I can be difficult, but also I think it's difficult for the restrooms. I recently had a situation where there's a problem with the shower head, but I mean, I don't know who messed with the shower
That's
heads.
that's the thing. You can't, you're not going to be able to know that with 100%
Right,
certainty. But if you do have a house supervisor that's monitoring things like that, and if everybody's like, "Hey, come on, that was Frank. We know it was Frank,"
right,
then you can take it out of his security deposit or something
right.
like that.
Mhm.
If it is somebody that is like causing damages like that, you notice a pattern, you notice that they are lying about it, it becomes like a big challenge and a big problem, then eventually, you could give warnings, you can work with the caseworkers, but eventually it could come time for someone to find a new place to live.
Right, right.
You
What
have
about yeah, I'm sorry. What about those like supervisors or house, I forgot what you call them. The individual that looks around and is kind of your go-to person.
it's somebody that and you'll notice it especially with the amount of people that you have in there. You're probably noticing someone take that role without you asking.
Yes, and my question was because I know there can be different, I guess there can be different routes to go about it. Um, With that person, if I was to give them that role, would they have like a discount on their room or would their room just be free? How would I go about that?
Andy will give half off.
Half off. Okay.
Yeah, so he'll usually the way it typically works out is they'll take a private room for the price of for a
Half.
shared room.
Okay. Okay.
That's how he does it. We have a
Okay, that
we
makes
have a
sense.
we have a lot of people, they just let it happen naturally. Someone will just end up becoming you know, the quote unquote alpha of the house or the person that's just responsible and wants to keep things clean. And
Yes, and I do have somebody like that already.
yeah, so now that you recognize that personality, you kind of see you'll when you're interviewing and it for more people as you scale, you could just be on the lookout for that ahead of time. You,
Right.
you know, think of like a veteran, they have good rental history, they have they show responsibility previously, but they might just be, retired and stretching out their SSDI or SSI, right? So
Right.
someone that shows responsibility, drive, kind of wants to stay busy a little bit. That's it. Andy doesn't really get any more fancy than that, you know.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
But that would cut down on situations like the bathroom issue.
Mhm.
Help, you could at least get someone on your side, like, hey, what really happened here? Who do you think did it? It's
Right.
that would be an amazing question to put in the management section of the house. because I honestly haven't seen that situation come up
Yeah.
specifically, but I bet you it happens a lot.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see how everybody else handles it.
Yeah. Yeah. So would I.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you an invite to the school group. Get in there.
Okay. That would be great. Yeah, I can do that.
Um, I'm just making notes on stuff to follow up with you. Were there any other like specific questions you had written down or off the top of your head?
No, I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay. What are you doing for marketing? Like, what does your marketing system look like if there is one?
So I have my website. I direct just about everybody to the website. And I do have my business phone number. So I use that. Right now, since things have settled down with the home, I'm not doing a lot of marketing. But anybody that does call, I refer them to the website, or I actually already have a waiting list for the rooms. So I have a spreadsheet and I kind of have everybody's name, their phone number, if they have a preference on what room they would like, kind of a little bit about their situation. And then I just let them know I'm going to reach out later. I do have a pre-screening as well, and that's linked on my website where people can go and fill out the pre-screening just with their basic contact information. That's one way that I get a hold of them, or if they just call me or text me, that would be the other way as well.
So it sounds like you have the momentum and word of mouth work in your favor a little bit already. So
Yes.
what were you doing previous to that? Like how many contacts did you have on your email list, for example?
I had quite a few, and quite a few that I did reach out to, but I would say that there's maybe about 10 solid ones that I really connected with.
Uh-huh.
And I have others that I did reach out to, and maybe I didn't really connect with them, but they still spread the word or connected me with other organizations, added me to their email threads. Um, so even if there was the organizations on that list that maybe I didn't speak a lot to, were still helpful because they still spread the word to other organizations that they work closely with.
Boom. That's how it works, folks. So, and you kind of you're not doing like automated email marketing or like posting in any of the to the general public or anything like that. It's just kind of word of mouth at this point.
Yeah, pretty much it's just word of mouth. I'm not planning on doing a lot of more marketing right now until later when I do have another home. If I do have a room and if for some reason like somebody on the wait list isn't interested, it's been fairly easy to reach out to the organizations that I work closely with and ask them if they have somebody that's interested. And that sometimes that has gone faster than other ways, to be honest.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Because sometimes with the wait list, it's great that I have it. But I also can't expect that somebody is going to want the housing later down the line because their situation might change, their income might change. So it's great having it, but it's also great having those partnerships already. And if, for example, if somebody doesn't fit the criteria or isn't ready on the waiting list, I can just go to the organization and ask if they have somebody, and they're always going to have somebody.
All right. Love to hear it. There's as you are scaling, if you are looking to scale quickly, there's a bunch of stuff that you could do to even pump that up. But I understand
Yeah.
how now you don't really have you don't really have to.
Mhm.
Eric's the same way. I don't know if he told you, but he's to the point where he doesn't do kind of any outreach. It's just everything
Yeah.
just comes to him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're starting to get the snowball effect already, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What is the plan? What is like you have a 6 month plan, a 12-month plan?
So right now the home that I have is for men. It's only for men. In the future, I think that the next house that I would get, I would like it to be for women. Um, I eventually down the line, especially working in corrections, I really want to work closely with individuals that are being released from incarceration. And I want to have eventually homes designated for that. Um, I would say, because I just switched jobs, I would say that once my new job schedule settles down, my next step is going to be looking into other investors that may be interested. I did have one investor that we kind of spoke about it, so I'm definitely going to be reaching back out to them. And for sure, I would say maybe 1 to 3 properties within the next year.
I mean, I would I would say that would be simple, maybe not easy, but simple for you to do if you have the drive
Yes.
to do it. Do you have a goal of doing this full time?
I wouldn't want to do it full time. I would like to keep my W-2. I'm also planning on going back to school. So I really want this to be more of my side business. And once I do scale more, then I do want to have somebody to be able to take care of all the things that eventually I would be focusing on other things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the operational manager is what we call that when you could basically just, just replace yourself. So, all right, awesome. What's the strategy for the next property or two? I mean,
Continuing
for
to
the like, I'm sorry, for acquisition. How are you going to get the properties?
I think I would like to continue to do the leasing the property. At first, I wanted to purchase a property, but I really like the leasing option for now, at least. Um, it's been fairly easy, and it's been I feel like it's been better than having to purchase a property, especially in the beginning, because there's just a lot to it. Um, as well as maintenance requests and things like that. It's been very nice to be able to delegate that to somebody else rather than me figure it out.
Yeah, it's I would estimate that about 90% of the people we work with end up starting by leasing.
Hmm.
And it's just for most people it's a resources thing. Purchasing a property, you're typically going to have 20% down,
Yeah,
right? And so it's definitely way less capital and it's a little bit less risk too, I guess, in absolute like absolute worst case, you have a broken contract with an investor on your record, which is awful, but it's much better than having a multi-$100,000
yeah, I
uh,
agree.
collection or liability that you have to take care of. So I get it.
Right.
I get it. Um, I would, I would start with the person you're working with now. Have they expressed interest in kind of scaling out and getting more properties, or do they have more properties?
I'm not sure if they have any more properties. They could be something that I can ask. Like I said, I do have another investor that is interested, and then I do plan on going to some more real estate meetups, and I think it'll be great going now because I did go before I had the property, but I think it'll be even better now going and having that one property to show other investors that I have started and I have a wait list going and things.
I was going to recommend that, and I would
Mhm.
say that it would be very, very easy for you. You can,
Mhm.
I'm sure you're basically a pro at least explaining the business model, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get out there and at least talk to a couple people about it at the meetups?
Yes, yeah, I did talk to quite a few people about it. So that was very helpful. It was great going to that meetup. I was very nervous in the beginning, but
Yes.
then I went, and It was perfectly fine. There was like nothing wrong. It was fine.
So, guys, take a listen to Stephanie at every step. She was kind of nervous or held back about doing. Uh, ex- I would say we've pretty much followed everything to a T, as like how we outline it in the interviews and in the gold course. Um, but you kind of understand why we recommend these processes and kind of the order of doing everything, right?
Yeah, I do for sure.
And
It all makes
so
sense.
it was it's very similar to the marketing. People build this up, they think they're going to get grilled by these housing coordinators and, shelters and things like that. It's, almost never ever like that. It's the same thing with the investors. As long as you're confident and as long as you're not lying about anything or
Right.
or pretending to be something that you're not, I would bet that 99% of your conversations are at least going to be a good conversation. Um, I would bet probably every investor that you spoke there were at least interested in the business and can
Yeah.
continue in the conversation with you, asking questions, etc.
Yes, everyone's very friendly. Everyone is willing to help you out, give you suggestions, anything. And they're all very interested and ask you questions on what you want to do, why you want to do it, kind of how it works. So they're definitely very helpful.
Yeah, and it's it doesn't always work out. Sometimes maybe they don't have a property available or something like that. Sometimes it's personalities. Like sometimes you'll run into investors that are just asking way too many questions or want too much money or whatever. But
Mhm.
I would bet, you know, you could get 90% of the investors that you talk to at least say, yes, let's discuss this further, a coffee
Right.
meeting or a follow-up meeting to discuss the details, check out the property, etc.
Right. Yeah. And it's very helpful as well because even down the line when I was, having questions about the property, one of the investors works in that area and I was able to reach out to her and she was able to give me some guidance and some help and that was great to have too.
Yeah, I think yeah, a couple little things you could do in the business if you wanted to. But I also think this is a good example for people out there listening. You don't have to scale, you don't have to create an empire in your first year or two or anything like that. It's totally about the lifestyle that you want. It sounds to me like you enjoy you enjoy working in the field that you're in now.
Yes.
You plan on even getting into a new field. It sounded like you mentioned going back to school. And
Yeah.
this is going to be just a really well-paying side hustle,
Mhm.
right? Like just do the math. Imagine if you have two or three of these, that's for a lot of people, that's enough to live off of, right? And it's something
Yes.
that I don't know. Would you think, it does take a lot to get set up, obviously, right? But once you have the home stabilized, like let's just just play a mind game because it's fun to think about this stuff. If you had three properties like the one that you have, how much time do you think you would need to put into it every week?
Once they were set up, I would probably wouldn't be that much. Probably less than maybe like 3 hours or less.
Yeah. So, guys out there listening, let that be a lesson for you. Let that be a good kind of mind game for you to kind of just visualize what would your guys' life be like? Stephanie, same with you. After you've gone through the process, you think that that's very doable for you to do within the next 6 to 12 months?
Oh, absolutely. I think that it is something I can definitely do.
All right, beautiful. Well, I got a couple things I'm gonna follow up with you about. Um,
Okay.
I don't know all the details, but you could almost use this as a lead. But we had a someone reach out to us about a corrections program. Since you are
Um,
in that, you understand how bureaucratic that can be, right? So
yeah.
I'll send you kind of like the details and maybe the contact of the person. Um,
Okay, great.
that might be a cool lead for you to follow up on.
Thank
Um,
you.
then we'll get you in that school group. If you have
Mhm.
any like, we didn't seem like you're like super motivated to scale like a real estate investing business yet, which is fine. But if you ever do, definitely reach out to us. We're happy to help on that side of things. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, for now, just keep on, feel free to reach out anytime. You have us, you have Eric's contact. We never with the programs, you'll realize they never really end. Like after you've gone through the program, you could see how you're not really going to need that much, help or support from us, right?
Yeah.
Once you do it once, you're like, all right, I get it. I could just be
Yeah,
this as much as I want. But
absolutely. Yeah.
we are always here and happy to help. So definitely use that as much as you want. And also,
Okay.
yeah, get in the school group. That'll be cool for you to meet everybody and network in there.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, cool. So I'll throw it to you. Do you have any parting words for the folks? So and also let them know where they can reach you if you want to do that as well.
Yeah. I would say that whoever is interested, that they should definitely start. One of the things that like made me start was I didn't want to be somebody that said, I want to do that someday. I want to do that too. I didn't want to keep saying that. I wanted to actually do it. Um, so I would definitely say just get in, just get started and do it, even if it can be really scary. Um, or you could just be, just unsure or nervous about certain things. I would say just start. Um, if anybody has any questions or just wants to talk, they can reach out to me. My business, the home is called Growing Again, and then the website is growingagain.org. There's a contact form on there. My phone number and the email is also on there, so anybody can reach me out through there.
Great domain name by the name.
Thank you.
I'm surprised you got that. I'm surprised that was available.
Yeah,
All right, very cool. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on. Awesome
thank you.
story. As usual, guys, if you listen to the podcasts, we consistently put them out there of people just doing exactly what they tell them to do and it working. So, Stephanie, thank you for being a testament to that and working with Eric and uh, not letting the bumps in the road hold you back. And I also love what you said. You don't want to be someone that said they were going to do something and then didn't do it because, oh, you know what, that's too hard. And then you go start something else and just repeat that process. So if you guys are out there listening, going through that process, stop today and get started. And we have a ton of services to help you, multiple programs, multiple options. You can start with the free email service and just email us. Brandon at grouphomeriches.com, Andy at grouphomeriches.com. We'll get you set up with a plan based on just your resources. And yeah, just if you're curious or have any questions, you can reach out to us. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on. Keep in touch. Once you have this like very lucrative side hustle rocking and rolling to give you, relieve that financial pressure when you're going through school and stuff like that, right? We'd love to catch up with you for a part two.
Thank you so much.
All right, Stephanie, thank you for coming on again and have a great day.
You too. Bye.